Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to still on the same project we are trying to do on the Streamlit project. We're trying to see how to build a very simple app using Streamlit, right? So it's going to be an ultimate password generator app, which is it's a very simple app in which you pass in your term, right? You just specify your parameters, so the password length, then a particular pattern that you want. So it can be alphanumeric, it can be alphabet, it can be all of them. Right, if I go with alphanumeric and I click on generate, automatically going to generate a simple password for us, right? And the password is clickable, right? It's copyable. So copy to Clipboard, and then you can also get the Nato phonetics for that particular password. So Cubic, Zulu, Papa, Alpha 3, Mike 72, right? Very easy for you to remember. That's a very simple app if you're trying to build. Very simple. If I come back again, I can also specify that I want to get only alphabet, and I click on generate. Then it's going to automatically generate only alphabet for us. As you can see, all of them are alphabet, right? And you can get the Nato phonetics for it. Okay, so let's see how to build this simple app from scratch using Streamlit. So as we have been doing all the time, so the basic workflow of what you are trying to build is that you are going to be having a simple workflow. We are going to have an input session to receive input from the user. You're going to have a function behind the scene to process the input, and then we're going to have another session to return the result, right? So let's see how to build it from scratch. So all the code is available on JCharisTech / right? It's going to be available on GitHub, on JCharisTech, or on the JCharis, right? Any of them you're going to find. So these are all the apps you are trying to build. So let's see how to build it. So there is a simple application or simple package, CLI package, that you have designed to help us automatically generate simple boilerplate for Streamlit, Flags, Express, and the rest. So in case you don't have it, you can just install it with pip install, right? Webgenesis to install it on the system, or it's a very simple file. I can just come here, copy this one, and then just pick this particular file, just one file. You can use it on the system, right? You don't need to, even in case you don't want to install it, right? So let's see how to work with it. So I just go back again to our workspace. So this is where we are working. This is the app that is running. Yeah, it was giving us an error because I was developing it. Let's go back again to our workspace. Let's make it bigger. So in case you have any question or contribution, let us know in the comment section below. And this is still part of the project we are trying to do, right? So go with our Streamlit project. If I come back here, there is nothing here. So you can see that these are the apps that you have built so far. So what I will do is that I'm going to be using this particular file that we did. So Python 3, Webgenesis, and then you're going to create a simple multi-page, right? As I said, this is Webgenesis. In case you want to see how it works, just go with this option. That's help. And this is going to give you a simple overview of how to use this simple package, right? It's a very simple CLI to create basic startup project for the specified web framework. So I can just go back again and stay with the create. That's help. I can just see the things that we can do. So you can create for Flags, Express, Streamlit, Bottle, Fast API, and the rest, right? So in case you want to create, just go with Webgenesis, create, then the particular web framework. Then the F means that I want to create a folder, and this is the name I want you to use for the project folder. So let's try it out. So I'll just go back again, and I'm going to create Streamlit app. So Streamlit multi-page app, you are creating a multi-page app, and I'm going to call it as, based on what you are doing, call it as 02-password gen, right? App. So the reason the reason I'm giving 02 is that this is the second one. The order is different, right? So don't worry about it. So perfect, it's created for us. If I go back and I check it out, we have our app here, right? 02 password gen. So I'll just move into that particular file or folder to password gen. There's, as you can see, if I go back and check it out, we have our app.py file and I did that file. So let's open it with Sublime Test, and then we start writing some code. So these are some of the apps we have built so far. Okay, so let's go back again. So this is it. Inside here, we just have my app.py, and you can see a simple boilerplate for us. So I'm just going to modify this one to Streamlit to password gen app. So password generator app. I don't know whether the audio is okay, but I hope it's okay, right? So let's go with this ultimate here to make it different, and this is going to be part of the Streamlit project. Okay, perfect. So we are going to have just two sessions of the app. We have the home session and the about. So as we have been saying, in all the apps, we are going to have an input section to receive something from the user, and we're going to have a part of the app to process whatever we are getting from the user, and another part of the app to display it. That is the basic workflow. So I'll go back again to my workspace here, right? I'm going to create my simple form, right? We can use a form. We can just go straight away without using a form. So let us not use a form for now. Let us make it very simple. So this is going to be my options. So I'll stop the old app that was running. I'm going to stop that app because this wow. So I'll stop that app, and then we are going to go back again to the same place and run it. So I'm going to run this app, right? So while the app is running, I'm going to go back again to the stuff we are working on. I'm going to create in my password pattern. So let's go to password pattern list, right? You want to have a list of patterns that we want the person to be able to select from. So we want to get one for alphabets, right? We also want to get another one for alphanumeric. So that is combining of alphabet and alphanumeric. It's going to be alphanumeric, right? And then the last one is going to be all the different patterns, right? So together with special characters. That is going to be our password pattern list. Then we also need to specify a password length. So let's go to password length, which in this case is going to be my st.number input. We specify the password length that we want the person to use, and let's give it a minimum value. The reason we are giving it a minimum value is that password must always have a minimum value. So most of the time, let's make it like 5, right? And then maximum value of, let's say, 25. You can change it later on. That depends upon you. Let's make it 50. Yeah, right. Some people's password can be a whole paragraph. And let's specify a default value of 6, right? Okay, so that is a basic understanding. Now we have gotten the password list. We've gotten the password length. Now let's specify the choice. So password pattern choice, right? The password pattern choice is going to be st.sidebar. Let's go straight away without a sidebar. We can just go straight away with the select option. So select the box. I'm going to specify the pattern that the person wants. I'm going to specify that the person can pick from this password pattern list. Perfect. So let's see what you have done so far. So the app is running. So I can just copy this one. It's automatically going to use your default browser, but in case it doesn't use it, you can just copy this one here, and then just come back again to your app. Yeah. So it's already running, right? See what I did. So let's run it again. Perfect. So it's already running. So I'm going to position them all so that everybody can see what you are doing at the same time. So if I go back, you see that everything is working as expected. So our app is working, right? So we have the option of selecting the number. We also have the option of selecting the different patterns. Perfect. So we are done with most parts of the app for the input session. Now let's move on from here, right? So I'm going to move in from here and going to make sure that we move on with our functions, right? So let's create a simple button. So let's say that if st.button, I'm going to specify the button that I want to call it. Let's go to generate, right? That is, if that button is pressed, what I want you to do is I want to give an information that specify generated user, generated result. Tell the user that we have generated some results. Perfect. Now let's specify our options. It's going to be if the pattern choice, right, is equal to alphabet, I want you to do something, right? I want you to tell the user what you are doing, right? So this is going to be our pass. So it's pass. Else, if the password choice is equal to alphanumeric, I want you to also do something. So for now, you pass. You pass it. Else, the final option is going to be all, right? Do something. So that is a simple function we are creating, right? So let's always rerun this app. Now, in order for us to be able to generate passwords, we can just use the random choice to help us with that, right? So we'll be trying to see how to randomly select from a list of values to generate password. Let me show you what I mean. So I'll just go back again to the top of my file. I'm going to import these particular packages. So I'm going to import random. That is the main package, will be important to help us with our randomization to generate password randomly. So I'll go back again to my workspace. I'm going to specify or create another terminal, vertical terminal. Hope everybody can see it well, right? And I'm going to go with IPython 3, and I'm going to work on the password generation randomly. So to generate password randomly from a particular style, let's say we have a term like this. So let's import string. So import string. So this is a simple package, and then with string we can get all the alphabet. So let's go with ASCII. Right, so we have ASCII letters, we have all of the various combination, right? So let's go with ASCII letters. So I go with this option, it's going to give us all the alphabet, right? So in case I want to randomly select from this, I can just go with import random, right? And then with random, I can zip through them, right? Randomly shuffle through this particular one. So let's convert this one into a list. So I'm going to convert this entire stuff that we had here. So let's call it as A for pattern, and I want to convert it to a list. If I convert this A to a list, now it's in the format of a list, so I can use random to random.choice and pass in my A, right, which is the list. So that it's automatically giving us J. If I run it again, another value. So that is what we'll be using to help us randomly select from an alphabet to generate a password. Very simple. So the simple rule is that you're going to just import the alphabet. We're going to convert this one into a list, right? So that we have a list, and I'm going to use random.choice to go through that particular list, right? To specify to that particular list that we have. So let's see, right, to give us that particular value. So that is the basic understanding. So let's go back again and then write that code here. So I just go back to my app here, to random. The first one, I'm going to create our function. So we're going to generate random password. So generate random password, right? That is the name of the password, the function. Then the function is going to take in the characters that you want to work on, right? And we also want to specify the number of the password length, right? How many passwords or the password length that you want. So password length, right? So let's specify it as number, let's say 6 as default. Perfect. That is a simple function. What this function is going to do is that we are randomly going to shuffle. So if I have a word like this, let's give another example. So let's say I have a word like hello, right? And I use random. So random on dot choice on X, right? So here I have 0, right? But in case I want to randomly shuffle it, I can just go the same way. Shuffle. It's giving us an error because it's a string. But if I convert this one into a list, what is inside this particular value into a list, right? And I randomly shuffle it. If I go back to the S, right? So now we can be able to reshuffle it, right? So by saving this one as, let's say S2, let's go to list of X, right? And I go with the same thing that we did. So random but shuffle. The reason I'm doing all of these things is just to make it easy for everybody to understand what you are doing. If I go with S2, that's shuffled it, right? That's the spelling of hello is totally been reshuffled. So that is a basic understanding. So you can actually apply that particular function to reshuffle it, right? So I'll go back again, and then I'll add the reshuffling here as the first one. So reshuffle, I'm passing my characters. So this is going to help us reshuffle it. So let's go to reshuffle. Oh, shuffle, I don't know how to call it, but yeah, the same way. Shuffle characters. Then from after reshuffling the characters, whatever the character has been reshuffled, I want to pick from them. So let's call it as password, right? And then I'm going to look through. So for I in range, so the reason we are using I in range is that if I come back again and I do say for I in, let's say, range, say 10, and I apply the same thing, so print, I apply the same thing, so print random dot choice from our X that we had, right? This, let's call the S2 that we had, S2. If I go back again, anytime I run it, it's going to give us different values for the next 10 values. Then whatever we're going to be getting from this, we are now later on going to join them. So that the order has changed, right? Anytime I run it, the order changes. So what we're doing is that we can now append this one into a variable. So let's go to password. Right, this is another list. and I'll just go with the same thing. So for I in range 10, right, I want you to append it to that particular value. So let's go as my password. Let's append. I want to append the random dot choice from the S2. Right, so if I go with this option and I run it, if I go back to the password, see I have different values. Now I can join this one together. So join, put them together as one, so we get the initial value back. Right, see that has given us this particular one. If I run the same thing above again and I run it again, see that this is a totally different value, right? This is different from this, right? So that is a basic understanding behind it. So we are going to be looping through them, and then we'll be using it to generate our password randomly. I hope you get the point. So once you understand this concept, you can be able to do a lot of things. That's why I'm taking a lot of time on it. Okay, so range. So the range is going to be the number of the password length. Then I'm going to append that result. So let's go to password dot append, then random dot choice. I'm going to pass in my characters. Right, perfect. Then that is all. So after that, I can now return the result. So let's return the result. So return the result. So let's return the result as, let's say, dot join, pass in my password. Right, something very simple. This is a simple function we are using to help us generate password. So let's try this function here. I'll come back to my Jupyter notebook or my IPython. Let's check it out. So generate random password. I'm passing some characters, like let's say hello, right? And then I'll pass in the password length of, let's say, 4, right? So it's giving us an error because of the string. So we should make sure that this one is not a string, it's rather a list. So list. Then besides, it's giving us another value. If I run it again, another value, all of them are changing, right? As you can see. So that is what we're using to help us generate our password. So our function is working perfectly well. So since our function is working, this one required a list, right? The simplest approach is that we can actually specify that particular variable here, right, must be a list, right? So that is going to be another thing we can do later on. Okay, so let's go back again and then work on the other characters. So this is going to be our function. It's going to be our constant. So since it's going to be a constant, I'm going to specify them. So this is going to be my all character. Let's make it here. All character pattern, right? Which is going to be my list. We are taking a list. I'm going to use a string that we imported. So let's import string from above. I don't know whether you have noticed that when I'm recording here, right, on Linux or on Kali, the audio is low. I don't know whether you have noticed that. So string. If you have any suggestion on how to make it better, you can let me know. Then this is going to take in the ASCII, because it's all characters. So you're going to get all the ASCII letters, right? That's going to be the first one. Plus, let me expand it. Not only the letters, but I also want to get the digits, odd numbers, and I also want to add in my special characters. So this is going to be my special characters I want to add. So I'm going to add in exclamation. All the values at the top here. So see, the simplest way is to get all of this is just go to the top of your keyboard where the numbers are, then shift, then start typing till you reach the last one. So it's going to be my 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then the last one is going to be 11 12, right? 13. So this, yeah, right. So this is going to be it. So all the numbers, they're very simple. Perfect. Now that's going to be all our character pattern. Now we also want to work on the alphanumeric. So alphanumeric pattern is going to be for only alphabet. So list, then my string dot ASCII letters, right? So this is for only alphanumeric, right? Alphabet plus string dot digits. Perfect. And the next one is going to be alphabet pattern. So list, I'm going to pass in my ASCII letters, right? For that, so it's going to be my string string.ASCII letters. Perfect. So this, we have gotten our constant, which we'll be using as our pattern. So I'll come down here, then I'm going to say, if that is the case, I want you to give me my password result. So we got as my password result. So generate the function. We're using that particular function we have there. I'm going to pass in that particular pattern. So alphabet. If it's alphabet pattern, then I'm going to pass in the password length. Okay, perfect. That's going to be for the first one, right? And then the same thing is going to be for the next one. If it is alphanumeric, so password, so just copy the one above because it's going to be the same code. Copy this one, repeat here. Copy this one, repeat here, right? So I'm going to change this one from alphabet to alphanumeric pattern. Perfect. And this one is going to be for my all pattern, or character pattern, right? So we have gotten it simple, right? Okay, now we are done. We are done with most part of the app. So let's show the result to the user. So we can actually show the result to the user using this particular option. So all the result is going to come down here. So we can just go with st.code to get the result, which is going to be my password result. If I go with .write, right, let's save it and see. I'll come back here. So our app is working as expected. Now let's automatically generate password. So alphabet, we are just picking alphabet. So name error password length is not defined. So the reason is that we spelled it as this option. So let's go to as password. So that is sometimes it is advisable to always have the same word. So password, yeah, the same part, so we don't make mistakes. So let's change this one to routy. Yeah. Okay, so let's check it out again. So it's generate. Voila, so we have gotten it here, right? Generated result is this, right? Perfect. So if I run it again, we're also going to get a different result all the time, right? Now, how do we make it copyable? So to make it copyable, we can just come back again and then specify to the user that the person can also copy it with this. So st.code, then I'll pass in my password. So one you can copy, one you can just see it, right? If I go back again, so we have one that you can see it and one that you can copy it, right? So this is in case you want to see it, and this is what you want to copy, right? Then the next one is that we also need to be able to work on the ability for the person to be able to remember, right? So how does the user remembers the password? So that is what is called the Nato Phonetizer. So if I go back to Google and I check for Nato phonetics, so Nato phonetics is all the alphabet that we know, so it's called Nato phonetics. So in case you watch most movies, you have this option of alpha, kilo, beta, whatever, right? We already built that particular app some time ago, so we are using the same idea. So alpha, Nato phonetic alphabet is these things. So alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Don't know what I can see. Hope everybody can see it well. Right, this is it. If you come back here, you can see that we have it here. So this is alpha, beta, or alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. Like these things is mostly useful in case you are trying to, in case you watch movies about military, to help you remember. And this is the Morse code for that. So getting this idea. Maybe another time we build a very simple app for the Morse code, right? It is going to be very nice anyway. We'll try and see that is another idea, so we can put it somewhere. Okay, so that is something simple. So let's go back again and then build that one out. So let's reset it back. So we'll have a dictionary of them and we'll be using them to help us get our stuff. Now, in order for us to work on that, so the simplest approach is that in case you have a word like, let's go back again to our S2, which was a list, right? In case I want to, let's make it again, so S1, so hello, right? In case I have this one S1 and I want to replace a particular value, I can just go with this dot replace. I want to replace all the H with, let's say, I don't know how they call it in it, but I remember, yeah, let's see what H is. So H is hotel, right? So in case I want to replace it, I can just come back here and I can just replace it with hotel. So I'm going to replace all the H with hotel. And now hotel, right? Hotel Lilo, right? So you can see how you can use to replace all these words, right? That's one of the ways. You can also use a dictionary to help you do that. So let me show you the example of a dictionary. So for the dictionary, let's say I have a dictionary. Let's call it as my dictionary. So D for my dictionary, and I'm going to pass in an alphabet like A. Then here I'm going to say that A is alpha, right? And then B is going to be beta, right? Or alpha bravo, something like that. In case I want to replace it with this option, I can just go straight away with this option, which is a very simple approach that we can use for a lot of things. I'll just go with this option. So I can just go and say for I, let's give another, let's say for I in, let's specify a list of alphabet, or let's say AB, right? Something like that. I'm going to loop through them, right? So if I loop through them, I'm going to get ordered. But to use addition, I can just go with my d.get and pass in I and I. So it's going to replace any place it finds. It's going to pick the particular value and replace with the other one, right? So now I can just go back again and let's print it out. And now we have alpha bravo, right? So it is able to change it well by identifying that particular term. So this is a very simple trick. So you are looping through the list, right? Converting the entire string into a list, then you are just getting, because it's a dictionary, it will loop through them. If it finds A, get A from it, it's going to replace it with the required alphabet. So that is a simple way that we can use to help us get the result, right? So you can just use the same thing to change a lot of things. So I'll go back again to our workspace and I'm going to copy my dictionary of all the words here. So I'll copy them here. Let's bring them here. So let's call it as this is going to be my Nato. So Nato phonetics. Let's go Nato phonetics dictionary, right? I'm going to paste it there. Mind you, this one was done in a previous tutorial, right? So you can actually go and check it out. The previous tutorial we also use the same thing, so right, using this option here. And this is alphabet capital, so you are going to convert them to lowercase. That is going to be our pattern, our constant here. And we need to create that particular function to help us do that. So I'm going to call the function. So get Nato phonetics, right? And I'll pass in my term as we did earlier on. Then I'm going to use the same thing. So the results I'm going to get, then I'm going to join them together. So if I go straight away with this, let's put in some space. I already explained it in the previous tutorial. Then I'm going to go with the same thing. So we have the Nato dictionary, right? Dot get I and I, right? Let me see. Okay, for I in the list of the term supplied. So you have to convert that thing to uppercase, right? Perfect. I'm going to return the results. So the reason we are leaving a space here, if let's not leave a space, let me show you. So now we have gotten our function. So let's come down here and then check on the Nato. So this is going to give us for the Nato. So st.info. So they say Nato. Yeah, let's go Nato phonetics. So Nato phonetics, right? If I go back and I do this option, let's pass in our results. We get phonetics. I'll pass in the password generated. Let's check it out. So I'll go back again to the app that we are building. So let's close this one off. If I generate another alphabet, right, that's giving us our one we can copy. Can say we have it was what? Mike, Oscar, Hello, Hotel, Romeo. But this is good, but it's not the best way we can read it. So in case I want to read it well, I just have to give in some space. So I'll go back again and I'll specify inside my function here. I'll just leave a space here. So leaving a space is going to make it better for the user to read. So I go back again, I generate it. We have our app variable, right? So Bravo, Yankee, Mike, Echo, Romeo, which is the same thing here. So that is how to build this simple app. So you have seen how to build this app from scratch, a very simple app using just normal Python code without any match things, right? So what we did is that we just imported our core packages, we created a function to generate random values. We had a list of all the constants we are using, all the different patterns we are using, and created another function to generate our Nato phonetics. And then we also went on straight away to have a place to select and to receive input from the user. If the term is met accordingly, we just generate a password. We are using st.code to make it copyable. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, you can just put it at the comment section below, and see you in the next session. Stay blessed. So all the things we are doing is going to be available on our GitHub page, and check the links below for some interesting materials. We also have more on the Udemy courses and then on our website, so check them out and support this channel and let others also know. See you another time. Stay blessed. Bye.